Heavy is the head that has to manage all of this.
Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel.
We're now incentivized to buy what we already buy.
Fumbling through college had me building.
I also got some done on the other side.
And that was right around, I would say, May, maybe, right before renewing the lease for this property. Welcome to the channel, Martha.
Thank you for having me here.
Oh, I was going to say, I am getting up there and age, I'll tell you what.
Bills paid by other people, life was never this good. I had to step back, knowing that it's...
Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to talk about EV cars and their depreciation. They're depreciating a lot faster than these hybrid cars and these gas guzzling cars, right? Now, for all of those who know, I also love electric vehicles. I have an Ioniq 5 myself, $50,000+ car. These cars are going to depreciate in value, just like every EV is depreciating in value. I'm sure just like every other person in America, you got that text. Yes, that $7,500 text that the tax credit was going to run out and that you should buy that car now. You should buy that Tesla now if that's what you wanted to do in September. September has come and gone. If you didn't buy that vehicle, you missed out on a $7,500 tax credit. Now, the thing about cars is going to price in depreciation as soon as you take it off the lot. Most vehicles, even gas vehicles, are going to lose 10% of its value as soon as you take it off the lot. So with the average car price being $50,000 brand new, that's the average car that people are walking off the lot with right now. That's $5,000 disappearing as soon as you walk off the lot. It's insane to think about, but that is exactly what's happening. Now, knowing that you just paid a $5,000 premium, which everybody is paying, so you just simply don't care, you go and you drive this car off the lot. The EV cars also had a $7,500 tax credit. So on top of the 10% drop in depreciation, car dealers are factoring in that a used car is not going to have the same tax credit and has to be priced cheaper. And so the depreciation value on an EV is going to be far greater because of the tax credit. And so now with the tax credit being extinguished, used vehicles in the EV market may actually go up in value in the short term, not $7,500 up, but in a realm where, you know, the tax credit is no longer available, and so cars must be priced at a reasonable price. And I also expect that EV starting prices are going to come down because the tax credit is no longer available, which may drop certain brands of cars down further. Now, with most EV cars losing about 51% of its value over 5 years compared to 45% from a gas guzzling vehicle, you can then say that EV cars are losing significantly more value quicker because of the technology in these cars are rapidly advancing. Unlike a gas car, buying an EV car that is 5 years old is like buying an outdated iPhone. Who's buying a 5-year-old iPhone in today's market? No one. Because the battery life, the camera quality, all the things that would make you say, I'm still team iPhone, would no longer exist. And so buying an outdated EV car that no longer gets the worldwide updates is like, why? You might as well buy a gas vehicle at that point. And then to top it all off, we get hit with certain fees that just don't make sense. People will tax you as long as you're alive until the day that you die. I gotta pay $200 in title fees per year that I own the vehicle because I do not consume gas. It's an EV fee. I have to pay $200 a year for having an electric vehicle just to drive it. An EV fee. What does that even mean? What does it mean that I have to pay an EV fee to drive my vehicle? Now I understand you have to maintain the roads, and so paying this $200 cost goes into the maintenance of the roads because there is a tax on gasoline, and I'm not paying that tax on the gasoline. So it just makes sense that EV cars must pay their fair share if they're going to be driving on these roads. Understandable. $200. Okay, $200 in EV fees. Now, when I had my Hyundai Elantra, I would pay $20 to fill up my tank of gas. I'm not too sure how often I would fill up. Maybe it was once a week, maybe it was twice a week. But I know that I wasn't spending $200 in 2 months. So, needless to say, it is a whole year, but it's just another cost associated with owning an electric vehicle that some people don't think about. And, Tesla having a monopoly on their car insurance and things of that nature may even give them an incentive to allow cars to break down and not necessarily be the safest vehicle in the market, which I don't hope is the case. But when you're your own car manufacturer, when you're your own insurance agency, it's hard to think that you may not do little things here and there to, make sure that revenue continues to come in. So I am skeptical of going Team Tesla for that reason. Not that you have to go with their insurance, but they may make it the most affordable and best option for you to do so. With that being said, car depreciation tends to top off at a certain point. Now, obviously, buying a used EV is not the most economically sounding move, especially when it will continue to be less efficient than had you got a used gas guzzling vehicle. And again, the reason for that is because the updates in technology will significantly hinder an EV car, unlike a gas vehicle. So here's the thing. You say, you know what, I don't want to lease because although it's cheaper than financing or owning outright, I want to own my vehicle. You have two options. You have the option of buying a new EV or a new gas car, or even a used gas car, because again, the difference between a used gas car and a new gas car won't be significant, but the difference between a used EV and a new EV will be very significant. With that being said, after 8 years of owning the vehicle, the depreciation flatlines. You get to a point where the car's value is actually going to hold and it's actually worth what you've paid for it after that 7 to 8 year mark. So if you bought an EV that is 8 years old, you can essentially sell it for right around the same price point. So with that being said, if you feel like you're going to hold a car for 8 years, then by all means, go for it. Now, this also assumes that this car is going to be fit to last 8 to 10 years. And electric vehicles are still new to the market. And although we have some data that suggests that these cars can hold up and that the battery life is actually holding up better than expectations suggest, is lasting longer than the expectations suggest, is still fairly new, and it's going to take some time for people to understand which car manufacturers are making the cars that last the longest and do the most, right? And so, I love the Ioniq 5. I've had it for over a year now, and it works just fine. I got it because the winter time, although it's not too harsh here in Ohio, it has been a issue when I had my Hyundai Elantra driving in the snow. The Ioniq 5 eradicates all those issues. I just press snow mode and I hit the road and everything is all good. And so I say all that to say, the EVs do come with safety benefits, but I think most new cars would come with those benefits. Doesn't just have to be an electric vehicle. And then also it was cheaper than my Hyundai Elantra, paid off Hyundai Elantra, I might add you, because every winter I was paying $4,000 to $6,000 in repairs. The undercarriage would go, something would be awry, something would always messed up on this paid off vehicle. to where me leasing an Ioniq 5 cost me less. It cost me about $4,000 a year rather than $6,000 on a owned vehicle just to maintain it. And so some people might say, "Oh, you just had a what's it called, a lemon of a vehicle." But no, I mean it was an old Elantra, so it makes sense. But the Ioniq 5 gives me no problems, no maintenance costs, no charging costs for the first 2 years. And so it'll be gone by the time I'm done with it. And at that point, I'll be looking to get into something new. So stay tuned because next year I'll be driving in style, all right? Now, if you like this video, if it helped you out, do you think that you'll stay in your next car for the next 8 years to avoid any additional depreciation and make it make sense financially or economically? Do you care about the depreciation? Does that even worry you at all? Do you think that gas cars, although you have to pay more for filling up at the tank, is a better alternative than an EV? One thing I will tell you about my Ioniq 5 that I didn't tell you in the video earlier was that I dislike the range on it. Now, obviously, the Model Y, if you go with Tesla, has a lot of range. I think they're almost at 400 miles of range. The Ioniq 5 on a good day will be around 286, 281 miles of range, and that's in economy mode. If I put it in sports mode, I'm probably getting like 260, maybe even 240 miles of range. Now, I work within city limits, so I'm not going out of the way to travel far places. I'm driving like 9 miles here, 9 miles back. I might go on a little road trip somewhere, and I'll probably do about 30 miles in a day, and that's a lot for me to do about 30 miles in a day. So I have no issues just driving around, but I do dislike that the mileage is pretty, again, low. I do believe that Hyundai will take steps to improve its mileage in their 2026 model, but it may not be a significant change, or it might be. And that will be, again, one of the reasons why you don't want the older models. So if you are team EV, what EV would you go with? What EV are you looking into? Because I think I may go Tesla, but I promise you guys that within 3 months before my lease is up, I'm going to be scavenging around. I'm going to be looking what's the best option for me. I'm going to be testing out these vehicles. I'm going to be making sure I make the right decision. I'm going to give myself 3 to 2 months to really look into these vehicles and see what I want to do. And then when I finally pull that trigger, I'll know. I'll know exactly what I want, because I'm going to wrap this car. I'm going to make it look good. I'm going to be in it for the next 8 years to truly get my value out of it. And that's definitely if I decide to go new, which I probably will. So if you like this video, make sure you leave a like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. You know I post on YouTube, Rumble, and Spotify for podcasters. I do have a new album out called Gifted Lyrically, Hearts and Lessons. Make sure to check that out on Amazon, Spotify, Apple Music, and wherever you listen to music. And I will see you on the next one. Peace.